Hey guys, I'm back with another YouTube video for you today, and it's gonna be a more basic rotation guide slash spells slash overview and a little update for the talents I've been playing recently since my last guide. The talents did not change much, but in some situations I do actually swap it, and I'm gonna just like show you what I do in and when I swap it. So I hope this guide helps. I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, let's get into it. Basically, I really have been getting a lot of questions and requests for rotation, like basic rotation and holy guide, and also spell management, or like when do you use your spells, when you do that, when you do this. So I thought it would be a good idea to actually go over the spells real quick, just to have like a little understanding if you've never played DK before. Going into it, and yeah, hopefully that helps. Abomination Limb, let's start with this one. This one is like one of your burst attacks. It helps to pull an enemy closer to you as well one time, so you kind of want to use it in between your burst for more damage and also to pull someone closer to you. You have anti-magic shell here. It's basically your shield against magic damage. You only use it against casters. It's one of your main abilities to survive. You want to use it first because it's the cheapest ability. It's 40-second cooldown, and it's like that's considered like cheap or faster. You know, you would get it back faster. So I rather start with this one and then go for a zone if it's on me. If it's on my teammates, of course, you want to use the anti-magic zone. Anti-magic zone is very similar. Also, magic, absorb, shield, but this one can be used for you and your teammates, so that's something to keep in mind. Asphyxiate, this is your main stun. When you want to stun someone, you probably would start with this one while you're bursting, or after you're bursting, or mid burst, late burst, or if someone's about to die. Blinding Sleet is basically a blind that deteriorate enemies and make them like not be able to play for 5 seconds. Also, you can use it as a form of CC, you can use it as a form of interrupt, you can use it as a form of help for your team. You can use it in many different ways, but that's your stun, your blind. Chains of Ice, that's your main slow. I need to reload here because of one of the add-ons bugging out. Chains of Ice basically is your slow. That's gonna be when you're kiting people. You want to use Chains of Ice from far or from close. You do it range, melee. It's a ranged ability. After that we go, this is your taunt. You can use it to taunt pets in arena or in PvP in general, but in PvE probably I'm not gonna use that. But this is a PvP guide, so I'm gonna focus on the PvP aspects and PvP side of things. You have Death and Decay. It's one of your AoE abilities. Usually in arena, we don't really use it to do damage. We use it to get people out of stealth, like rogues hiding behind the pillar, or like a feral hiding behind the pillar or coming your way. This is the usage for it. Death Call, it's one of your main abilities to burst as Unholy or to do more damage after your main CDs. Death Grip, of course, it's like charge or grip. You grip someone close if he's far. And then you continue. If he's kiting you, if a mage blinks away, you grab him back. Death Strike, it's mega nerfed. This ability was actually healing, but now it's like not healing as much, but it's basically it's your self-healing ability. When you're about to die, you press it, it heals for 20k. It was healing for way more. It was healing for like 100k, 200k in the start of Dragonfly, but it got nerfed 3 times. Pretty hard nerfed, so it's not as worth to use right now, but still in some cases, in some situations, you're forced. If you have nothing else, if you're about to die, it's good to use it still. Now we go Death Advance. It's your immune to slow ability. It's not gonna give you a freedom, but it's gonna make you walk at normal speed if you're slow, and if you're not slowed, you will walk a bit faster. So if you want to catch up to people, you would press it to run faster behind them and catch them up with Chains of Ice. And also another usage for this is that if you're expecting someone to knock you off a bridge in Blades Age, for example, an Ellie Shaman, or in Eye of the Storm Battleground, and Ellie actually wants to knock you down in the middle, send you to the abyss, that's what you press. You immune that, and yeah, it's up for 10 seconds, so within this 10 seconds, if they knock you down or something, you're going to be immune. Empower Rune Weapon gives you haste and runic power over time, so also this is one of the abilities you want to use while you're bursting, especially when you summon your Gargoyle for more haste, etc. Icebound Fortitude is one of your defensive abilities, but this is for magic and physical. So you want to use it to get out of stuns as well, most of the times, rather than just like for the damage reduction. If you get kidneyed by a rogue, you're about to get one-shotted by his death mark, or if you get like avatared by a warrior or speared by a warrior with a stun, you could use it, get out of a stun, and get that extra damage reduction. Lichborn used to heal and to get out of CC, like fear, etc. It also makes you immune to like sleep effects and charm, which is like pulleys and sap, etc. fear. So you can also use it differently to immune stuff and outplay people with it a little bit. Mind Freeze is your kick. So if someone is casting a heal, you go ahead and boom, kick him on the cast, then stun the next cast, then pop CDs on him, etc. Raise Ally, it's it doesn't matter really because it's a PvE one. Path of Frost doesn't matter in PvP, we never use it almost. In BGs, of course, you can walk over water. Sacrificial Pact is a talent I'm playing here, and that talent is basically sacrificing your pet to give you that heal. So I sacrificed my pet, I healed for 100k there. Helps out in some situations, but yeah, it doesn't heal much. And don't forget to summon your pet after you use it. That's also important. Wraithwalk is an ability to connect people if they're running away from you, but I usually save it to get out of roots. So preferably if you just want to get to someone, press Death Advance. If you want to get out of roots, press like Wraithwalk. That's more optimal overall. Now we go to the Unholy spells real quick. Apocalypse, this is something you use to summon your ghouls, but you need Festering Wounds to be able to, and we'll get into that later. So basically you get Festering Wounds, then you press it, you burst 4 of them, and you summon ghouls to fight with you, or to get more pump damage. Dark Archer is basically my Gargoyle. It's just a different skin, it's the same, it's summon Gargoyle. You summon it, it will come and join the party with some damage. It blast. Now with Unholy, you need to understand something, that every time you actually Death Coil or spend runic power, your Gargoyle will get buffed from that runic power you just spent. So when your Gargoyle or your Valkyrie is down, you want to spend runic power as much as you can. That's something also to keep in mind within the rotation. Dark Transformation, also big abilities. We press it, your pet becomes more powerful. Your pet is able to kick now, but you need to manage it or control it away from the target to be able to get that kick. It can kick with the leap instead of just leaping on the target. Your stun also becomes a bit stronger. Instead of 1 second, you would have a 2-second stun and some damage. So that was 1 second because the transformation finished. But before that, it was like, or with the transformation, it was 2 seconds. Fisting Strike, one of your main abilities in your rotation. You press it to get Fisting Wounds, and it does some damage as well. But we'll get into that later with the rotation. Outbreak, mainly used to apply your diseases. It's something you want to use repeatedly. You don't want like diseases to get any downtime. Like you want to keep your diseases up all the time when you're doing damage while you're doing the other rotation or other spells, right? Now Raise A-Bomb is basically the PvP talent we play here as well. You also want to summon it when you burst. It will also join the party with the Valkyrie and the zombies you explode from that Fistering Strike, if that makes sense. And after that we have Raise Dead, which is your pet summon, very basic. You summon your pet always when it's dead, when it's not there. Now it's right here, but if, for example, I dismiss it, or if it dies, you want to resummon it with Res Dead all the time. And Holy Blight basically applies diseases and makes it stacks up. Also, it gives you like another disease that does damage, and it applies all the diseases instead of Outbreak, or like Outbreak. But one thing to keep in mind, you don't want to Outbreak right before you press Unholy Blight, because it's gonna do the same thing. You're gonna waste a rune and a global here. So if you're gonna use Unholy Blight, you don't need to apply Outbreak. But if you don't have an Unholy Blight, you always want to use Outbreak, if that makes sense. Another way to apply Outbreak, and like other than just pressing Unholy Blight, would be Raise Abomination. Raise Abomination, when he comes and join, the big zombie, or the big dude that joins the party here, or joined the party earlier, will also apply Outbreak. So also, when you raise Abomination, you preferably, or you don't want to use like any Outbreaks, any Unholy Blights. Unholy Blights is actually good, so it's fine to be stacked with Raise Abomination. But keep in mind, if you don't have Unholy Blight and you don't have Outbreak runes, or you raise a bomb alone, don't Outbreak. You only Outbreak when you don't have these two, basically. Alright guys, the rotation. Let's get into the rotation just to do damage without CDs and with CDs. We basically just start with Outbreak, Fistering Strike. Fistering Strike is essential to build up Fistering Wounds. Without wounds, you cannot explode your Apocalypse. So it's always going to be diseases and Fistering Wounds. This is your main two abilities. And that will generate Fistering Wound and Runic Power. With Runic Power, you can use Coil. And with Fistering Wound, you can use Apocalypse and Scorch Strike. So you want to always keep this cycle. This is the cycle you want to use. Outbreak, get Fistering Wounds, burst them with Scorch Strike. And you don't want to overcap Runic Power, so you press the Runic Power or the Death Coil to spend the Runic Power. That's the main rotation. Now, as I said earlier, Unholy Blight and Raise Abomination will give you diseases, so you don't have to Outbreak if you use that, as long as you watch your diseases and they don't fall down. So my opener would be sometimes Raise a Bomb. He gets the diseases up for me. I don't need to apply them again. Get Fistering Wounds. Summon my Apocalypse. Also use Unholy Blight. Now empower all of them, because I'm playing Unholy Commander of the Dead. If you watch my old guide, you would understand why we're playing that. It will buff out all your pets when you use Dark Transformation, so use Dark Transformation as well. After that, you also can use, or before that, you can also use Raise Abomination, try to sneak it in between, and then summon the Valkyrie, and go back to the basic rotation we were talking about earlier. Disease, Scourge, 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 Fistering, Death Coil, Death Coil. Try to pump up your Gurgle as we talked about before, or your Valkyrie with Death Coils, and play the game. And of course, you want to keep stunning, you want to blind, you want to kick. While you're doing that, you don't want to and you want to help your teammate with a zone there. AMS here, line the warrior, guide him with Chains of Ice. Move your pet for a kick there while you're running. Try to abuse every ability you have, and in a good way. And that's the strength of Death Knight. Death Knight is really weak now after the Death Strike nerf defensively against like melees. You would get one-shotted. That's the weakness of Death Knight. But your strength is the damage you do, and the utility and the assist you bring to the team overall. So you want to abuse that. Otherwise, you're gonna be behind, or you're not gonna shine with the spec as much. All right, that's everything when it comes to rotation. I cannot think of like anything else, but I want to go over the talents I started playing recently, or I've been changing around. So on my old guide I was playing Morbidity, and now I sometimes actually, so this is my main build for 3v3. okay, this is what I was playing yesterday. I would sometimes swap this to that one. I would sometimes drop zone if I'm playing against double melees. I would sometimes just like swap these two things here, and yeah. But this is my main build for 3s on the right side. And what I've been swapping for solo shuffle is I've been going Unholy Pact, Sudden Doom, and Double Ghoulish Frenzy instead of Eternal Agony and Morbidity for solo shuffle. For 3v3, this is my build. Sometimes I also play Unholy Pact. So the Unholy Pact build with Ghoulish Frenzy works for a little bit more burst, I would say. And the Morbidity is like kind of the build you want to play in 2s and in 3s long games. Solo Shuffles is shorter games, is why I prefer the Unholy Pact Ghoulish Frenzy build. Other than that, I don't change much, honestly. We talked about the PvP talents last guide or last video. That was like a bit more overall video about my macros, keybinds, everything. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. If you wanna actually ask any more questions, I'm live almost every day on Twitch. It's Twitch TV/Cerva. You will see a lot of arenas. You will see a bunch of comps, games, etc. Get there. Also, subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't yet. We're starting. I'm trying to blast it. I'm trying to keep updating you guys. Also, I'm gonna make a Frost DK video, which has been insane lately. I played some Frost and it went better than expected. So I'm gonna stream some Frost soon, actually, and just test it out. And also, I'm gonna make a video for you guys to keep you in the loop on YouTube if you don't watch my stream. But yeah, watch my stream if you need any help, if you want to just enjoy the games. Subscribe to the YouTube, like the video. I hope this guide helps guys. And yeah, much love as always. Take it easy. Peace out.